This is Jim McKenzie, interim minister at First Congregational Church in Port Washington, Wisconsin. Here with you again for another Gap Chat. I wanted to just simply give another big shout out to Alex and Emily, the two people that provided leadership for our confirmation class this last year. Now I know you're saying, well, Jim, I thought Confirmation Sunday was a couple of weeks ago, and indeed it was. But there was one video that you have not seen, and I wanted to give an opportunity to all of you to hear something pretty remarkable. You know, Alex and Emily did a remarkable job, and I can tell you why. When you see this video from Haley Bergen, you're going to know that what Alex and Emily taught these confirmands this year was something very solid and life-giving to them. You see, faith is not so much about dogma and doctrine. It's not about what you say really at all. It's more about how you live. And we have that from the beginning of Scripture, where we know that faith is all about a relationship that God wanted to have with us when God was brooding over the cosmos in the early chapters of Genesis. And we know that in the stories that God breathed into the man's nostrils the breath of life, and humanity began. We know that in the covenant with Abraham, God said that I will be your God and you will be my people, and I will establish my everlasting covenant with you. And even in Jeremiah, where God says, I will put my law within them, I will write it upon their hearts. You can sense this very intimate, very personal nature of covenant and relationship. I think Alex and Emily taught the confirmands that this year. Even Jesus said that the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And then he added, and your neighbor as yourself. A loving relationship has to do with kindness and justice. It has to do with forgiveness and grace. All those things that provide a foundation, not just for life, but for faith as well. I think in Haley's statement of faith, in her video, you will see a very solid foundation of understanding that in our growing in faith is the establishment of a relationship. The relationship that we have with God and the relationship that we have with one another. You see, Haley said it just right. It's all about the relationship. Thank you, Alex and Emily. And thank you for the relationship of foundation that you provided for these kids. So let me play that video for you. Let me show you just a couple of minutes of Haley's statement of faith, and then you will know the fine work that took place in confirmation class this last year.
To me, being a Christian means having a friendship with God and always willing to forgive. In the future, I hope that God guides me by helping me to remember that it is okay to make mistakes, but also reminding me that I have to keep going and move past them. I hope that God comforts me by letting me know that I am never alone, and I hope that God challenges me by not giving me what I want, but helping me to achieve it.
Wasn't that a wonderful statement? I'm glad you had the chance to see that and to be reminded that our faith is all about the relationships that we form, our relationship with God, our relationship with one another. And let that be your guide. And let Haley's words and Alex and Emily's guidance lead you today. This is Jim McKenzie, interim minister at Port Washington, saying, stay well. Stay well, my friends. Stay safe and stay faithful. I'll see you right here next time in Worship in the Gap.